How do you handle teenagers? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and in 2009, I was asked to be on a program called The World's Strictest Parents. Well, in this video, I'm going to give my reaction to a piece of that episode all about parenting teenagers and some of the things that you might face and what you can do to better help the teenagers in your life. Okay, so I have my laptop here today, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at day one, okay? They just got to our house, and so this is Hannah and James. They came from the UK to stay in our house for 8 days. And we just had a time where we told them the rules. We told them 4 basic skills that we live by, which are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. We also told them exactly how we would correct any negative behaviors. We told them the exact words that we would use if they went completely out of control. And then we just had a time after explaining those skills and the way that we discipline in our family, we talked about our family standard. So the family standard is a document where we list all of the things our family will do and won't do. Well, we told them that we have certain rules about smoking and certain rules about dress standards. So let's see how they're behaving after that discussion about what they can and can't wear in our home. All right, let's take a look.
Being given firm boundaries has left James and Hannah in defiant moods.
I don't care what she wants me to do. It's not going to happen. She's not letting us do what we want to do by smoking, so I'm not going to try and obey her rules and not wear fake tan or short skirts. It's my body and I show it if I want to. And I don't wash my hands. One of my main priorities in life is my appearance, because that's the way I've been brought up. I haven't been brought up as to dress and cover myself up. I've been brought up to, if you've got it, flaunt it. Boy, I know you want it.
Okay, so right after we had a conversation with them about dress standard in our home, which every family creates dress standards, and if they don't have any dress standards, that is their dress standard. So we have certain dress standards about modesty in our home. That one was one that really got Hannah frustrated and upset, and James kind of just went along with it with her. I mean, he cares about what he looks like too, but his clothing wasn't really the problem. Her clothing did have, an issue. She, bras hanging out and stuff like that. And that just goes against our family's way. And each family, has their own way of what they think is good to wear and not. Anyway, and just so you know, if anyone comes to visit me and they are dressed any which way, if they're just a visitor in my home, I would never correct them for what their outfit is. I would never say, you can't wear that in my home. I just never would. That's not good hospitality. It's not gracious. But we were told on this program, and this is an important thing to bring up, we were told that we had to treat them as if they were our children, as if our children came home dressed a different way, or our children came home and all of a sudden we're smoking. We had to treat them in that way. So we had experience doing that because we were foster parents. For years, we did treatment foster care for troubled teens ages 12 to 18. So we just went into foster care mode, basically, and we decided, okay, well, here's a foster care situation, but this one's going to be filmed. And quite frankly, this was an easier foster care situation than any of our real foster care years that we had with all of the troubled youth that came into our home. And I know people think, whoa, seriously? These kids were so oppositional and so angry. And as you go on in the program, you see more oppositional behaviors. But yeah, compared to what we'd seen, this was nothing. So it was not a big deal for us. But what you see there in that clip is they're putting on suntan lotion. I think that's kind of funny because they're like, okay, we're going to go out in the yard and we're going to get some sun, because they're from England. It's cloudy. cloudier there a lot, not as sunny. I know, I've been there multiple times and it rains like almost every day. Anyway, so here they are in Utah, right? In the mountains, more desert location, and it's sunny. And they're like, we're gonna go get a tan. So they're putting on sunscreen and they're gonna go outside. And then you see Hannah say, listen, I wasn't raised that you cover your body. Well, there you go. In her family, they had different rules. She was raised to think, girl, if you know you've got it and you want to flaunt it or something like that. She sings that little ditty, and which is from some music or something that she's heard. Anyway, so she has been trained, whether it's by her mother or by her friends, because, friends can do training too if parents don't. Okay, then she has been trained that if you've got something, you got to show it off, right? And that everything is about showing off. Well, that's not our way. So we see them being oppositional. They're deciding on purpose. They're even talking about it. They're calculating how they are going to be oppositional to the rules in our home. So some teens are strong-willed. Okay, and Hannah and James are both behaving in very strong-willed ways because they are deciding that they are going to just be openly defiant. And they're trying to test us. They're seeing if we will bend, if we will let them get away with it, if we'll drop the subject, let it go, if we will put up with it and go, oh well, throw our hands up, or if we'll get angry. So they're seeing if they can start a power struggle with us. And it doesn't work the way they wanted to. Let's go ahead and take a look at some more of this.
The teens have arrived on Memorial Day, a public holiday all over America. And tonight the Pecks are hosting a celebration barbecue.
We want you to meet our family.
I want to meet your family.
We can't take you up there if you're out of control.
No,
Okay.
we like to have fun, and we want you to do that with us. That's the fun thing.
I'm not going to have fun though if I'm not comfortable with what I'm wearing. And I know I'm not.
Well, we want you by the end of this to be able to have fun regardless of what you're
I
wearing.
won't be able to.
Well, that's your
What
choice.
if we could get you some really nice things?
I don't know.
I mean, what if there's some really nice things, I'm okay with spending a little bit of money on clothes if it's going to be something that you can feel comfortable wearing and it also fits within our family standard.
I don't understand why you can't see your shoulder. I wanted to get a tan as well. God gave you shoulders.
Surely someday, dog, if it's a nice day, we could go someday on the garden or something.
With your shoulders covered over. With everything covered over.
With our shorts on,
Oh
right?
God, this is wrecking my head. This is wrecking my head. I can't cope with this no more. I don't understand why you can't.
Okay, so we see Hannah is really struggling. So we try to give them a bigger picture of, okay, so right now you're out of control. That's part of the conversation that you didn't hear us say in that clip is we're saying, okay, now you're out of control. You're starting to have tantrums, right? And we explained to them what out of control meant. So they knew what we were talking about. This wasn't a term that they didn't understand. They absolutely did. And she does not want to acknowledge her bad behavior in this moment. Instead, she wants to think about the clothing. The clothing. And you know what? Hannah is a beautiful girl. I mean, gorgeous. She is a beautiful girl and now a beautiful woman. I just love her. I love the person that she's become and who she is. Anyway, but she is so worried that she has to wear certain things for people to see her beauty. And we even offer here, hey, we'll buy you new things. How about we go and buy some new clothes and we'll find something you feel comfortable in, but also that fits the family standard, because I was completely confident there were styles out there and new clothes that she might find exciting, because here we're in America, we can shop here, new stores, right? And they would also be things that could fit our family standard. And she didn't want to lose this battle. So here I was offering to even, go and do something if she could accept this no answer. But I told her, tonight we've got this thing for Memorial Day where we're going to go and meet with my parents. But we can't take you if you're out of control. So it really had nothing to do with the clothing. That wasn't the reason why we wouldn't take her to go and meet with the family. But our family rule is, if a person is out of control, then they do not have any privileges. They don't get to go and do fun things like go up into the mountains and have a barbecue and stuff like that. So she's being out of control. And James is not really. He's kind of following her along, trying to be her buddy, but he's not really going out of control himself. In fact, he's kind of trying to talk to her, you don't see all the footage of it, but he's like, well, yeah, maybe, maybe go shopping or whatever. He doesn't want to leave her high and dry. They're doing this buddy system on the tantrum, but it really is Hannah that's driving it. And we know that. We know she's out of control. And we basically are telling her, listen, unless you get in control, you can't go. And she had had a lot to drink before all of this. She'd had some booze in the morning. She was going on no sleep. I had a lot of empathy and understanding of her situation mentally, where she was at, new house, new rules, plus just her physical situation that she was at. So we were trying to be as patient as possible, but also being very consistent. And we had already done some corrections, but they weren't accepting them. Okay, let's take another look.
I don't understand why you can't show your shoulders. God gave us shoulders for a reason. And obviously, if God let people make clothes like this, then obviously it really bothers if you showed your shoulders off.
Here we are starting at a really strange place with her at age 17, having a long history apparently of, if I have a fit, I get what I want. Ultimately, I'll get what I want. And she may give a little bit to try to please, but then she still wants what she wants. Well, this is going to be tricky with her. This is going to be hard.
Modest dress is a key principle of the Mormon faith. For Nicholeen, compromise is not an option.
Is that alright?
They are a little tight.
They are a little tight.
I'm not wearing that. No way, Jose.
Hey, it would be cute.
No, are you having a laugh? I am not wearing that. I'm not wearing that underneath.
Go.
No.
If Hannah won't meet the Peck standard, she cannot join tonight's get-together.
I don't want my family and my kids looking at your
There's nothing wrong with it. You can't
undergarments.
see that.
Actually, you can.
Wear that.
Nicholeen believes that standing firm and enforcing boundaries are the key to good parenting.
Yeah, but it's low cut. They won't let me wear it.
Yeah, but that's gonna be cool for her.
She'll never make a threat that she isn't prepared to carry out.
But you're still having an attitude problem.
Yeah, because look at the state of me. I look like a hippie.
She can't go.
Okay, so now we see James saying, hey, you actually look really good. Like, it's okay. You're fine. Do that. And she's trying every little thing she can do. So this is a common teenager tactic, okay? So teens will, especially if they're trying to be defiant, they'll give a little bit like, okay, I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to do it all the way. And so they maintain that oppositional defiance. Well, I don't play games. We don't make concessions like that. And so we gave her some ideas. She didn't like the ideas. Then she finally went ahead and put on the other shirt over the top. And she said, I look like a hippie. And then you hear me say, well, she can't go. And they made it sound like in here that I wouldn't let her go if she didn't dress appropriately, but that wasn't true. I was not letting her go to the event at night with my family in the canyon because she was out of control. And that's the rule in our family. If somebody goes completely out of instructional control, they don't have any privileges until they can do the 5 steps of following an instruction, which are to look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, do the task immediately, and then check back. If they can't do all 5 of those things, then they're not showing respect to parents, and I can't parent them. That's the baseline for me being able to parent them, which means I can't keep them safe, so we just have to stay home till we get to that place of calmness. And that's what we worked on for the rest of the night, was trying to get Hannah to a place of calmness while everyone else went off to the party. So here are some key points for how to handle teenagers. So number 1, you've got to tell them ahead of time what all the rules are, what the skills are that they need. Number 2, you have to stick with them. If you have standards in your home or house rules in your home, you've got to be consistent and stick with them. Number 3, be calm. You don't have to be upset or angry as you're sticking consistently to your rules. Also, recognize when they're just trying to manipulate. When they give one little bit but not the whole way, if they won't come all the way into obedience, it's called manipulation and it's a power struggle. Number 5 is be willing to miss something yourself if it means helping them find calmness. If they don't get to a place of calmness, you can't help them. So if you're thinking, yeah, that would never work for my child, they just wouldn't ever get calm. Nobody stays out of control forever, especially if you have a system in place for how to help them get calm. There's something we use called the rule of 3 with the teaching self-government system that we use in our home, and that helps a person get calm. We definitely used that with Hannah, and it did work. They don't show it in the video, but you can learn how to use that skill set at teachingselfgovernment.com. Also, we have a calm parenting toolkit that's completely free. There's a link to it below this video that you can click on, which could help you even more. If you've liked this, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment. What do you think about manipulative behaviors? What types of manipulations are happening at your house? If I get a chance, I'll try to comment and respond to some of the things that are going on at your house, see if I can help in any way. And we'll talk to you again next time.